I used to believe that if you worked hard enough, loved deeply enough, and followed the rules, life would eventually meet you halfway. I was wrong. I'm a 38-year-old man living in a quiet New Jersey suburb where every house looks slightly too similar and everyone waves but doesn't really know each other. I had what people like to call the American dream: a good job in corporate compliance for a mid-sized tech firm in Manhattan, a mortgage I could afford, a 401k I contributed to religiously, a wife I'd been with for 14 years, 2 kids, Emma, 9, and Lucas, 6, a golden retriever named Max who shed everywhere and slept at the foot of our bed. On paper, my life was perfect. I woke up every weekday at 5:30 a.m., drank burnt coffee from a chipped mug that said "World's Okayest Dad," and caught the 6:42 train into the city. I worked long hours so my wife, Claire, could stay part-time after the kids were born. I came home exhausted but grateful. Weekends were soccer games, Costco runs, grilling in the backyard, and arguing about which Disney movie to put on. Claire and I hosted Thanksgiving every year. Christmas mornings were loud and chaotic. We took family photos and matching sweaters that I secretly hated but smiled through anyway. I thought this was it. I thought this was what winning looked like. The first crack wasn't dramatic. It was a feeling, a quiet, persistent hum in the back of my mind that something was off. Claire started showering immediately when she got home from work, even if it was late. Her phone never left her hand. She turned it face down on the counter. She changed her password. She laughed more, lighter, almost girlish, but not with me. She started going on work dinners more often, buying new clothes that didn't match the woman I thought I knew, lingerie that didn't make sense for someone who claimed to be too tired most nights. I told myself I was paranoid. I told myself this was what happened when you'd been married for over a decade. People change, stress happens. I blamed myself. Maybe I worked too much. Maybe I stopped trying hard enough. Maybe love just quieted down over time. But then there were the transactions. Small at first, $87 here, $132 there. Charges labeled as restaurants I'd never heard of, stores we didn't shop at. I asked her casually once, trying to keep my voice neutral. "Oh yeah," she said, without looking up from her phone. "Work thing, I'll expense it." She never did. The night everything broke, it was snowing. The kind of heavy, wet snow that muffles sound and makes the world feel distant. The house was asleep, the smell of leftover chili and pine cleaner. Claire had fallen asleep on the couch, her chest clutched loosely in her hand. I stood there for a long time, just watching her chest rise and fall. I didn't want to know. That's the part people don't talk about, the moment before, the moment where ignorance still exists, where you can turn around, go upstairs, and pretend your life is intact. But something in me was already gone. I took the phone. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Her passcode was our anniversary. I wish I was surprised. The first message I saw wasn't explicit. It was worse. "I miss the way you smell. Today felt empty without you." My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I scrolled. Hundreds of messages. Months. Maybe years. Pictures I wasn't meant to see. Videos recorded in our guest room. In our bed. Voice notes sent while I was on a train home, talking about how she couldn't wait to feel his hands again. His name was Mark. Mark from her office. Mark who'd been to our house for a barbecue last summer. Mark who'd shaken my hand and complimented my grill. Mark who'd played with my kids in the yard. I sat on the kitchen floor for I don't know how long. The cold tile seeped through my jeans. My mouth tasted like metal. My vision tunneled. I remember thinking, this can't be my life. This has to be a mistake. But it wasn't. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling while Claire slept upstairs, peaceful and unburdened, her betrayal warm beside her. By morning, something inside me had shifted. I didn't confront her. Not yet.
Update. I didn't expect this many responses. Thank you. I'm still reading through them. A few people suggested gathering evidence and staying quiet. That advice probably saved me. I spent the next 2 weeks living a double life. On the outside, I was the same husband, same routines, same small talk, same kisses on the cheek. On the inside, I was hollowed out. Every smile felt like sandpaper. Every I love you felt like swallowing glass. I documented everything. I took screenshots. I backed them up to a flash drive I hid in my office. I checked our joint accounts and realized the affair wasn't just emotional or physical. It was expensive. Hotels, gifts, weekend trips she claimed were conferences. She dipped into our emergency savings, money meant for the kids, for the house. One night, while scrolling through old messages, I saw something that made my stomach drop. Mark was married. He had a wife, 2 kids. I found her name buried in a tagged photo on Facebook. Her name was Rachel. I stared at her profile picture for a long time. She looked normal, happy. A woman smiling at the camera with a man's arm around her shoulders, the same man who'd been inside my wife. I didn't know what to do. I drafted a message to her at least a dozen times and deleted it every time. What right did I have to blow up someone else's life? Then I remembered how it felt sitting on that kitchen floor. I sent the message. Hi, you don't know me, but my name is Daniel. I believe our spouses are having an affair. I'm so sorry. She replied an hour later. Can we talk? We met at a Starbucks halfway between our towns. It was early December, cold and gray, the kind of morning where everyone looks tired. Rachel walked in wearing a wool coat and holding her phone like a lifeline. She looked smaller in person. We sat across from each other, 2 strangers bound by the same nightmare. She didn't cry at first, neither did I. We spoke quietly, comparing timelines, matching details, the same hotels, the same weekends, the same lies. When she finally broke down, it wasn't loud. It was a slow collapse, like a building losing its last support. I thought I was crazy, she whispered. He said I was paranoid. I nodded. So did she. That was the moment something strange happened. In the wreckage, we found clarity. Rachel was a forensic accountant. She'd already started digging. Together, we uncovered more than an affair. Mark had been funneling money through fake expense reports. Claire had helped him. They'd been using company cards, manipulating budgets, hiding charges. It wasn't just betrayal, it was fraud. We decided to wait, to be strategic, to let them hang themselves with their own lies. Update 2. Everything came out on Christmas Eve. Claire insisted on hosting again this year, family tradition. Her parents, my parents, her sister. Mark and Rachel were invited too, something I hadn't known until Claire casually mentioned it over dinner. I felt something close to calm. The house was warm, filled with the smell of pine and roasted turkey. Christmas music played softly. The kids ran around in pajamas, excited and oblivious. After dinner, when everyone was seated in the living room, I stood up. I have something to share, I said. Claire smiled at me, confused. I connected my laptop to the TV. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I just showed the truth. Messages, photos, hotel receipts, bank statements, expense reports. The room went silent. Claire's face drained of color. Mark stood up, stammering. Rachel didn't move. This isn't just an affair, I said calmly. It's theft, fraud, and it's documented. Someone gasped. Claire tried to speak. I held up my hand. Don't. The kids were taken upstairs by my sister. Phones came out. People whispered. Mark's boss was there. So was HR. It was over. Final update. 6 months later, the divorce was brutal but clean. Evidence has a way of simplifying things. Claire moved out. The house stayed with me. Full custody, with supervised visits at first. The court didn't look kindly on what she'd done. Mark and Claire both lost their jobs. Charges were filed. Plea deals followed. They moved in together for a while. Then they broke up. Rachel and I didn't end up together romantically. We tried coffee a few times after everything settled, but we were both too broken in similar ways. What we did find was friendship, solidarity. It's quiet now. The house smells of coffee and laundry detergent. The kids laugh again. Max still sleeps at the foot of my bed. Some nights, the weight hits me all over again, but I'm learning something I forgot along the way. Love isn't about endurance. It's about honesty. And I deserved better.